All right, family. All right. All right. We just wanted to hop on real quick before you hear the next episode. Just to let you know, we wanted to make a couple of changes. We had messed up on some stuff, so wanted to make a couple of changes to make it right, to make it correct. When we were talking about Ms. Stephanie Vaquer, because we get into talking about WrestleMania 42 in this episode. We were talking about Stephanie Vaquer. We said she was from Cuba. That's Lola Vice. She is from Chile, brothers and sisters, right? So Stephanie Vaquer is from Chile, right? Shout out our Chilean brothers and sisters one time, right? Our South American brothers and sisters, right? So we just wanted to make that distinction just to be right. Again, when we talk about WrestleMania, we did night one. We're doing it in two parts, just so that you know. Night one, yeah, it is what it is. And then we will get into night two coming up shortly. And not too long, because we want to keep some continuity to the actual event when it happened, right? So that's that. Look out for that. Look out for that. Again, hit your subscribe bells wherever you're hearing this podcast, Spotify, Apple, Pandora, YouTube, wherever you're hearing it, right? Hit those subscribe bells, not actually a subscription to the podcast, like money-wise per se, but as far as alerts are concerned, hit that alert bell or however they distinguish it on the multiple platforms. Thank you, family. Just wanted to hop on a little, just a little ditty. We hope you all like the episode, and we will talk to you soon. All right, and all right, hi, ladies and gentlemen, a good morning to you. 420. April the 20th, Monday, right? 2026, in the year of our Lord AD, as some would say back in the day, right? Welcome in us a different view family who believe in, who love after, who hunger and thirst, search and seek to find and have fun with that which is a different view family. Welcome in. We're on TikTok today doing this episode, so we're going to use TikTok-friendly language. My apologies. We have found a way we believe to be able to repost these TikTok deals, because sometimes TikTok gets in a weird space where they won't allow you to repost the lives you do. You have to find different ways of getting around to it. I found one way of putting the TikTok lives that I do on the Spotify channel, so even if we can't re-show these on TikTok per se, we will post them back to YouTube, so on and so forth. Family, is about getting the information out there, and it is a damn shame now it's master system, right? As we get in today, we're gonna be talking about WrestleMania night one, WrestleMania 42 night one. That's gonna be today's topic. It is going to be under the, now again, a lot of this is massive. Your boy got stuff to do, right? Family, we all working people. Some of us are not out here working for the weekend, of course, as the song goes, et cetera, et cetera. But many of us, right, are all working people. As a result, we have families, we have stuff we're doing, okay? As a result, we do not always get right on at the first moment and stuff, but that does not mean things cannot be spoken on, okay? That's some silly kind of Bridgerton, type of, and this ain't no shot at Lady Whistledown. We haven't forgot about talking about season 1 of Bridgerton. It's just, this is what's popped up in the space. This week is also the premiere of Michael, right? So we encourage people to go out and watch the King of Pop, right? Do his thing on the big screen. I believe his nephew, if I'm not mistaken, excuse me, I believe his nephew is the one that is doing, is going to be, let me not even misquote. Let's do this in real time. Hang on one second. Jafar Jackson, right? Who is the 29-year-old nephew of Michael. He gonna be Michael, right? So it's gonna be cool to see how that goes, right? So again, the 24th, Friday come out. If y'all gotta go Thursday, if you gotta make a weekend of it, this would be the weekend, right? Before we get into next weekend, which will be dealing with May the 4th. Somebody talk to me about May the 4th be with you one time. Speaking of which, shout out George Lucas. Hopefully nobody heard me pressing certain buttons on my soundboard there, but if you did, oops. And if you didn't, it's cool, family. Shout out to George Lucas. A lot of times in the camp and in the village, we get this sentiment like there are no righteous, quote unquote, YT people. Family, at the end of the day, we have to give certain credit, okay, to folks like Stan Lee. If y'all want to say this is caping for massa, you go for it. At the end of the day, family, we have to give credit to folks like George Lucas. For putting out material in the mind, family. We talked about this last time with the idea of imagery, okay, and manipulation. Massa is a master at it, okay? Might not be at anything else. Lord knows you can't keep a society together worth a damn, but that's not the goal anyway, right? We really can't be paying workers worth a damn, but that's not the goal anyway, right? You ain't gonna go to the hospital and get that good hospital health care that you should, but that's not the goal anyway, right? And when you're in entertainment, you're gonna get half-ass entertainment, but that is the goal, correct? A lot of this is, listen, I know y'all were thinking his brother gonna get into wrestling without talking about life. Nope. Not here, okay? If we were gonna put the 2 and 2 together when we talk about WrestleMania, again, we're just gonna keep it on night 1 for today's topic. Night 1 was a Raw SmackDown episode. Y'all know when us wrestling fans out here, shout out to Wrestling Fan one time. Of which I am a wrestling fan, family, just like I am. And that's why I'll put it sometimes in the hashtags, whether you see it on TikTok, if you follow me on Facebook, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow, again, places that you can find the podcast, right? A Different View podcast is found on YouTube. The channel is at A Different View 80. That's where you can find it, right? When you get to, let me see if I don't know if I can do this real quick. I don't even have it pulled up. Some of the statistics about the podcast. Maybe we'll do it for night 2. Not only at YouTube, so I don't want to get myself distracted here. This is some important stuff to talk about. Yes, we'll do some Spotify stats for night 2, just for fans to understand, just for people, listeners, I should say, to understand, or fans, however you want to look at it, right? Because people do attach to things, family. We have to be okay allowing people to attach to good stuff. When we talk about institutions, organizations, however you want to say that, right? Family, at the end of the day, Massa has used very many great institutions and organizations to keep us bound, but you have to be okay saying it, right? And I've gotten to the place in my mind where I'm okay saying it, all right? Because this is the real. You go into school, they're indoctrinating you to be a good worker at work, not for you to be a good entrepreneur, family. We're just saying what it is. Again, we're using the French term when we say entrepreneur, a good business owner. Okay, business in Massa system is ass backward. Matter of fact, just about anything that they have control over is always the inverse of what it should be in life. I had heard it said on a thing, and just looking and studying more at life, you just realize that's what it is. When you get to, of course, we always talk about the 9 areas of activity. It's very impactful in my life. Finding that information out from Dr. Neely Fuller Jr., which we thank you, brother, and may you ever rest in peace for sharing that knowledge with us. And that includes Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Okay, entertainment is one of those venues, family. So when we speak on WrestleMania, we have to speak on it in the light of life. Okay, because the fan is giving energy to a lot of this stuff. Okay. So, with that said, and family, welcome in those who join us in on this episode today. Again, speaking on WrestleMania 42, we're going to start off here, right? This is just notes. I had to bring the notes for this because it's massive, right? Las Vegas, I was like 4 or 5 hours watching. It was a Raw SmackDown episode. That was night one, family. From the stage to the whole thing, it just looked like a Raw SmackDown episode. It really was not elevated. We understand this, Liv Morgan out there dancing to her music video, which was unnecessary. Family, do not get mad, right? Please allow some of these defenses to hear openly, right? Okay, because you have to understand how things are operating in space. It's all good for sis to be making it. There was no need. What are we? It was a Britney Spears like video. Okay. Again, we're not talking down on our sister. We're just saying how in the space of entertainment, and we could go back and forth with this. Well, maybe she agreed to it, and we do that. Okay. But at the end of the day, family, that we heard, we're good. We're good, right? We'll get to that match in a second. We're in Las Vegas again. Why? We understand this draw for money. And again, we said this is going to be a little different. This is going to be a little different wrestling conversation. Okay. So we're in Vegas again. Why? Right. Chasing money is the reason. Okay, the man chasing that money. Yeah, well, people supposed to get paid, KJ. We understand that. There is a difference, but there's a whole lot of other venues that they could be at. Go back into Detroit. You was in WrestleMania 23 for Detroit, right? Where was Cena came out with the car crashing through. So where can we go back to Detroit? We know that the laughing stock that is WrestlePalooza that they kept. There's someone on the books. I don't know how virtuous the Righteous Brother is, but there's a content creator that the WWE did not allow to come in, and probably because he was going to, try to hop up on the stage or do something weird, right? But still, you're keeping people out of a thing. We want to see we want to see content creators. Lord knows you had Eyes Show Speed right there, right? So we want to see if the content creation space is where they're turning their focus, right? It's hard enough for podcasters to be doing what they're doing, and all you need is like a Cody Rhodes. Boom, you got like 1 million views, right? Now, did he pay for his? Listen, we're not taking away from it. We're just talking about how opportunities can be manipulated and people don't want to see it. Okay, and the same thing here would be, and in Vegas again, there are a ton of other places they could go. They don't want to. Can we have WrestleMania back in Madison Square Garden? Again, we understand you're going over in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Hey, can we have WrestleMania over in Puerto Rico one time? Maybe do your brothers and sisters in Venezuela a solid, since the government is okay deregulating society over there. Nah, but you're not going to see that. WrestleMania 43, you're going to see over in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, though. Now, family, understand, because we have to say this, right? Again, just on the topic of this thing of being in Vegas. Why? Y'all don't love your Iranian brother. You don't have no love for your Eastern brother and sister over there. This is going all the way back to the Iron Sheik, okay? When WrestleMania is getting put on by the Iron Sheik, being sub matches and all this kind of stuff, either leading up to WrestleMania or actually being featured in WrestleMania, right? All of those fights between him and Hogan, the real American, ain't got no love for the black women, but Hogan's the real American, right? And at the end of the day, what we're okay seeing is an environment just further making the joke out of the dark brown and tan skin tone people, which we're gonna get into throughout this whole thing, because that's what it was. That's what it was. But past the entertainment and the shouting and the woo, after that, yeah, that's what remains, right? Because that's what it is. You're going to be over in Saudi Arabia, and we know there's a money play involved. Two hands are shaking hands. We understand. At the cost of the fan, of course. Next year's set, I bet you it'll look extravagant. I bet you that. If I could put money, I wouldn't put full on house money on it, right? But maybe a month's rent. Again, that thing gonna look extravagant. Trust me. And it's going to have as it should. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing against it. We're just talking about where you can get in a pseudo space here. Okay. Again, having a thing look like and it not really be for real. I bet you'll have those tops that are on the top of the Taj Mahal, and all the things that have to do with Arabian culture is going to be featured throughout that thing, because that's what it is. This implication, family, that Vince McMahon is under allegedly, with the quote unquote, again, we say allegedly, right? The quote unquote selling of TKO or orchestrating it, family, again, just for money. So it's very interesting how a company had no dealings with your Iranian, Arabian Semite, because the Jews are not just the Semites. Semite brothers and sisters is all of a sudden now over there repeatedly. They got the women covering up because they believe their beliefs don't. Ooh, never mind. Family just got to be careful of a thing that we're watching. That's all. We have similar critiques for AEW. You can go back in the episodes of. We have similar. Again, we talking the music video, Liv Morgan. We still do not know. I do not care about this most dangerous. We're good. Why did Swerve? We don't need to fallouts with the producers or whatever. We do not need to be. Everybody is all swerving while they drive. We don't need to switch it up. You can put this under some title of mark or whatever fans and folks got to do. Whatever defense you got to go under. Family, there was no reason you had to change your stuff. Okay. Side note, and again, we already talked about the setup. It looked like a Raw SmackDown episode. Same thing, similar with Night 2. We're not getting into Night 2, but we're just going to say that just for this whole thing. What are we doing? Okay. Now, on to the actual meat and bones of Night 1. So you got John Cena coming out. Of course, we knew he was going to be the host. And thank God they kept it short, because it sounds more like, again, I'm a fan, family, but we're just not gonna, we're not just gonna be okay with the, we're good. This is the same critique I have with Jade Cargill and Lash Legend, family, which we'll get into that match here in a minute in Night 1. Cena comes out. He's the host, doing his superhero pep rally talking, right? Everybody vocal in the back and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're damn right, bro. We already know this. Again, maybe WWE needs to stop doing Unreal documentaries and all this stuff. Just like the Hulk Hogan one that's coming out, bro. If you're going to say the whole of a story, and this is not speaking against the dead or anything like that. We're just saying whoever is behind the production of that, please tell the whole story. Because we don't need no fantasizing about how that man acted toward all of the people groups, because there's a certain group he had a problem with. Okay. Going back to this thing with John Cena, who is just a different type of Hulk Hogan, right? He's in this suit with this hair. We have to say this about the music, right? Bro, everybody's switching their music. Cena, you in a suit now, bro. You in a How you coming out talking about, like this kind of Dr. Thugonomics type of, but this is not you, man. You in a suit trying to throw up the OK2 signs. Like, you can't even do it because you're in a suit and it's restricting your, man, you can't even go up all the way. Like, it looks weird. You can't run down the ring. You're trying to run down to the ring in dress shoes on a slippery surface, family. This does not work well, okay? And anyway, he's there. He does his rah-rah, so be it. Match number one. The Usos and LA Knight versus Vision and I Show Speed. Right. He comes, think about a year, how far Jey Uso fell, brothers and sisters. That man beat Gunther square as can be in California, in San Francisco, I believe last year's, was it Vegas? It was Vegas. All right. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, right? A lot of these things. Hold. One moment. It was in Vegas. My apologies, right? My apologies. Hey, let's since we're talking wrestling, right? Because we give credit to where it's due. We're just as hard on ourselves as we are other people. So let's just do this real quick, right? You know, we gave the bad information there. It wasn't nothing to do with San Francisco. So yeah, we just, right? Okay. So he beats this brother last year, right? This goes into the Gunther match this year, okay? The company is going to give Gunther his lick back. You understand? This is kind of like people getting into the space when, especially with the brothers, right? You cheat on your wife, your girlfriend, this, that, and the other. Stop being mad when they get their lick back. Don't get in that manipulative space. See, again, in order to be honest and open with each other, hey, I messed it up. Let's clean it up. That's it. Whether you leave or you stay and you clean it up, let's just clean it up, family. So now you got the Usos and LA Knight here. It was cool with LA Knight's kind of deal. It's just a shame. I have to put this note in there. Thank God for Jimmy Uso. Shout out the older brother in the family who is there for the younger ones, and even vice versa when we fall on hard times, family. That's family dynamic we watched, and that's a powerful thing that we saw behind the scenes in last night's deal, family. It was good to see Jimmy. It's been good since he kind of came back here. I'm assuming Naomi had the baby, as I haven't seen anything of it yet. If you have, shout it out in the comments, right? Where she's had the baby. Everybody home resting peacefully. She's on the mend and stuff like that. We're going to talk about another powerful black woman in wrestling, right? That is pregnant with child. Matter of fact, we'll just say it out right now. Congratulations, Bianca Belair, right? And Montez Ford. Again, we're talking about producing life, wholeness, and on top of that, black life, and you watching black love, family. That's a powerful thing to see. Congratulations to you, sis. And we can't wait till you get back in the ring. Again, we talking the EST. That's going to include mamahood now, right? Man, the EST, right? So shout out to Bianca Belair on that part of it. Again, LA Knight coming out with the big truck. The big trucks, we know, we know big truck is a thing. Certain parts of the world you go to, certain parts of the nation you go to, is big truck or die out here, right? Or excuse me, unalive. So it's cool to see how that went down with LA Knight. And again, I think it was a Dodge Ram, whichever car, but you know, it's painted out in its colors and all that kind of thing. Division, right? Since y'all wanted to piggyback on, we ain't playing around with Division, right? Because again, that thing was a little weird anyway when it all came together. We understand the injuries to Braun Breaker and to Bronson Reed, but at the end of the day, you know, it's a Seth Rollins thing. Maybe Paul Heyman's behind it, but it's a Seth Rollins thing. And after they get injured, you know, that should have been a time where you break up, but they didn't, right? So they kept it going. They're a tag team now with Austin Theory and Logan Paul. And at the end of the day, man, you know, these are the people that you want to see lose. We don't need halftime, right? If we can hold this critique for The Rock and everybody else, we can hold it for Logan Paul. We don't need no halftime social media content creators thinking they wrestlers, okay? Just know you a novelty item that they have allowed to go on for a while now. This is like if Ken Shamrock just stayed on forever and ever and ever and ever. No, thank you. Okay? And again, the ability to leap across and do coast to coast and springboard dives out onto announce tables and stuff. We've been seeing this in wrestling for the longest. Okay, so before we fantasize dude here who has to go on Stephanie McMahon's podcast and explain away his fool-headed actions over in the East. Okay, like it's overdone, and we're allowing for a weird space. Same thing with Pat McAfee. We're gonna get into that in a minute. Okay. But again, this is what happens when a company goes away from its heart and its foundation and gets into more and more of this weird space. The wrestling has gone aside now, family, for logos of other companies that they're bought out now. This is like a shell of itself. We're just saying what it is. They're generating money. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, people in the fans, people are fans, and they're in the stands, and yeah, we get all that. It's what's under the surface that's the issue. So they do the whole thing. I show speed. It was cool. I show speed. Again, just as far as being a content creator in the space. See, again, let's not just make it more than what it is. Just you having your fun in the sun. Just leave it at that. Okay. So I show speed's doing his thing. It's cool to see the brother doing the splash on the Logan Paul, right? Ironically, right? Two content creators beefing, right? Or whatever. Okay. At the end of the day, it was cool to see. And, that part was nice. But the rest of the match, I fast forwarded through it, family. Because, again, we already know what it is. Division's going to win by cheating. I mean, it's just... So what are we even, other than the entrances and stuff like that, what are we even watching? I didn't get a chance to see it live, which is good because I was able to save some of my time. So again, it's wild to see what a year did there. As far as that's concerned, we talked about the LA Knight entrance. Wade Barrett shouting out Michael Cole for being there for 25 years. Number one, we're going to be honorable and respectful first, and we're going to give our thing on the back end that people will take as disrespectful. Shout out to Michael Cole for doing 25, WrestleManias for as long as he's been in the company, right? The part that we must recognize now is time to retire, bro. We're bumbling and fumbling over our words, and we understand I do the same thing on the podcast. If you talk long enough, quick enough, you bound to bumble over your words. But some of this stuff he's in the middle of doing his setup for the next couple of matches. And again, maybe he got bad intel off the teleprompter or whatever, but we have been listening and watching you bumble and fumble, bro. Like, you need, listen. The announcing part is the part that brings a lot of this, because you can go to a regular match, right? We have been to a bunch, me and the missus, we have been to a bunch. Shout out to you, honey, one time, right? It's a cool thing whenever we can go and enjoy something together, family. That's a thing. It don't matter what it is. Brothers, don't get on the high horse to not go with your wife somewhere, right? Or your girlfriend somewhere on something that you don't want to do. You can take in and enjoy anything. Leave this machismo, masculine crap that Massa gave you. Flush that thing down the toilet, okay? At the end of the day, family, what we do together is the things that last forever, okay? And the fighting and the infighting is not helping. So when we get down to entertainment, it's okay. She want to watch a romantic comedy, bro, get your comfiest pajamas, whatever your best drink is to help you through it. And you just be respectful. You sit there, laugh at the stuff that is funny, and and it's the same way the other way around, right? And you never know what you might enjoy in the in-between, right? So, hey. So back to the Vision's entrance. We can see y'all paying attention to AEW. You had a flag come down for the Vision, like MJF stuff, huh? And then it dropped down. Number one, why did you need the double camera angle to show them raising all you had to do was have the front angle with the flag come down, or just don't do the flag, right? And then just have them raise the titles and be on with it. Why do we don't need double camera angles? And you double down on this multi-camera angle thing with this weird Brady Bunch kind of 9 perspective camera angle. AEW, please don't do that mess. Okay, please don't do that mess. There's some of it. Just be okay doing what you do. A lot of times in life, this happens, whether it's exercise, whatever it is, right? We trying to copy somebody else. We have to know thyself. This is at the heart of anything like this, man. You see it in Star Wars with the rebellion and stuff, especially in the TV show Andor. It's like you trying to be Empire without being an Empire. No, you're supposed to be, it's the opposite, okay? Which some things may look similar, maybe, but it's two sides of a coin, family, okay? One is doing it through occupation and lying and cheating and stealing, the other one is not. So you got this weird Brady Bunch camera angle. It is what it is. We don't believe it. Y'all don't believe it. What can I say, right? Brady Bunch camera angle, 9 angles, and all that type of stuff. We're looking at fans, not looking at fans. I don't even know. Okay. Into the match. This is what it is. Again, we just talked about it. Dude, he's doing his splash. It's, excuse me. Yeah, there was this like distractions with ISO speed, and one's hitting the other one, and all this kind of stuff. And then the Usos got the Vision won the match, and I think no. I think the Usos won that match. My apologies. The Usos and LA Knight win the match, and then they go on to attack Logan Paul in the back end as he's slapping ISO speed and all this stuff, right? Celebrities that were there. Let's move on from match one. George Kittle was there as a celebrity. Stephen A. Smith. Man, he was there. Tyrese Halliburton. It was a shame what happened with last year in the finals, right? If he stayed healthy, maybe the Indiana Pacers win the championship. Maybe they don't, right? The WWE had been using Tyrese Halliburton all the way up to that point. So, I mean, there's there. Terrence Crawford. It was cool to see Terrence Crawford there. We talking about the brother telling the man to go you know where. We're good, right? We ain't paying you no extra money. We don't care. That's anyway, I'll leave it alone. Some people get it, some people don't. The George Kittle thing, him drinking the beers like Stone Cold with the Stone Cold shirt on, that was cool. You know, he's taking Tyrese's Halliburton's beer, and we get it. Match 2, Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match. Technically should have been a sanctioned match because there was nothing unsanctioned about that match. Nothing. That was a tables match, family. What are we doing? You using a wrench. You didn't even stab nobody. We sitting here looking over in AEW. They take it now. I don't mean to be too violent because this is, but again, you can watch AEW and what they use bamboo skewers for. We'll just say it that way, right? What they use like forks, not plastic ones. We talking metal ones in a match, family. So we can play in this space about hardcore, but I tell you what, you see two grown men fight out in the street, ain't nothing gonna be cute about that. There's nothing gonna be PG about it. This is why we say WWE now is PG-esque. Or PG-ish. That's what it is. It's not all the way non-PG, but it's not all the way full PG. They're trying to play in this middle space. I'm sorry, that's not the Attitude Era. That's not the Ruthless Aggression Era. I don't even know what this. Again, it's the PG-esque era. And so, you know, we're kind of using a toolbox, whatever. Nobody's bleeding in this match. There's nothing, and there's nothing unsanctioned about this. He does his moonsault through a table. I mean, this is not like we've seen Jeff Hardy through this. We've seen. Okay, this is not, right? Again, Jacob Fatu winning was cool. It was cool to see the entrances here showing Samoan heritage. Of course, when you go into Scotland and you look at the sword and the history of the claymore, right? They call the broadsword in Scotland. So there's a whole history with that, right? Again, of even so-called YT person, or in this case, the Scots fighting with guess who, right? You got the English over there and people battling and beefing on top of internal battles. It's interesting how the story is told over and over across the planet. Anyway, so there's that part of it, right? That's match 2. Match 3. What do we have here? Yeah, we already talked about Michael Cole's mess of things. The 4-way tag match. Now, I family, y'all gonna get mad at your brother, but we're not coming from a place when we talk about the Bellas. So this is supposed to be Alexa and Charlotte, Bayley and Lyra, the Irresistible Forces, which is Nia and Lash. Right? Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, and the Bella twins, Nikki and Brie Bella. Okay? We understand with Brie, especially with her husband being involved with the competition right now, which is saying what it is. She herself at one point involved with the competition. You can clearly see there's been some conversation behind the scenes where Daniel Bryan is like, hey, we understand this is what put you on, go with it. What I'm doing is different. What you doing is different, go with it. We still a family, right? Okay. She doesn't do the same hip swivel stuff that her sister is doing and all that type of stuff. She a full mom now. Congratulations to you, sis, on that. We talking 2 Hispanic sisters right now. Congratulations. But with all that said, Nikki, you hurt, sis. We understand. Horrible injury. The wrong time for all this. We get it. Drop out of the match. As we talking, this is a tag team. Yo, drop out of the match. We shout out Paige for coming back, right? This is my house, right? We get it, right? English sister. We all know with the Schmex tape with this, because this is the only way that you can look at this. Her and Xavier Woods doing what white and black folk do. Okay. We don't know what that. I forgot that kid's name back in the day. Brad, I think, was his name, right? We don't. You know, we understand. It was a little bit of a three-way. I don't know if this is gonna get me cut here on TikTok, whatever. But we understand. All right. This is what happened. This is what could happen on any given day. Okay. But at the end of the day, that's what people remember Paige for, instead of her being, again, because we have an improper view on sex. This is what people, Schmex. This is what people remember you for, instead, because of the improper view that has been placed on the subject, instead of her wrestling acumen. Okay, so again, she went through a very horrible neck injury, right? We can get into the whole Sasha Banks hurt her or whatever. Sometimes these things happen in the ring. It is what it is. She's back now in WWE. Again, they tried to fantasize that thing like, we didn't see you, sis, in AEW, but we'll leave it alone. We'll leave it alone. Same thing for CM Punk. At the end of the day, it's what AEW, just to say this, just to get it out, in the open and over with. Please leave these ex-WWE people alone, because it looked too funky. Okay, it looked too funky. If I'm not mistaken, somebody fact check me on this. I think Matt Cardona was also in AEW for a little bit, or like a feature type of thing or whatever. Leave these. Again, you really got to be against the establishment, okay, to come on over, because they unfortunately operate in a weird space. All right, there's no cut on Paige. This is no cut on Paige. We're just saying what it is. All right. But she is back. As a result, teaming up Paige and Brie. What are we doing? Brie Paige? Bella's house? I mean, how we billing this now? Just Brie and Paige? And she just has to win coming back? Why couldn't she be involved in the match? Again, another one that we're going to get into, literally the next one. AJ Lee and Becky. Why couldn't she just get involved in that? You know what I'm saying? This is the same thing with Becky Lynch we keep talking about. Every time she come back, she gonna win? What are we doing? That's not the only way we could do this. What are we doing? They're okay giving you mediocre stuff, family, and we fall for it. So you had all that. With the irresistible forces, sisters, why are we coming out with the... Man. We gotta be wearing Demolition's masks? What is that? Nothing for y'all to? Just come out and you're the irresistible forces. Just play off that. Well, Demolition's the irresistible force, KJ. I mean, why do we always have to go there? Never mind. This is not taken away. I like Demolition as a tag team back in the 80s, family. That's a damn good tag team back then. We just talking about what is the visual, what are we doing? Leave those masks in the past, right? Come out as yourself. Just make something of yourselves. Charlotte and Alexa's costumes, I mean, it was cool, like Alexa's a death moth, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. Charlotte's a butterfly. She's going through her own transition. We have to say this about Charlotte Flair, that the sun is setting on Miss Flair. Okay. Everybody is unfortunate with her knee injury and all that kind of stuff, but and this out her own mouth, and where however much time she has left, which is, you want to be walking after you do. There's a lot of stuff that wrestlers go through to entertain us. Okay. So again, there's a lot they put their bodies through, just like there's a lot you put your body through, making sure there's food on the plate for your family. Okay. This is why I don't get into this. Well, wrestling is fake. No, family, you watching entertainment. This is what we do the same thing with with actors and actresses, especially during that SAG strike. Like, what are you talking about? Like, these people come from neighborhoods like you and me. What are we doing? They would just, again, blame the system for messing around with the opportunities given and awarded. Not the, again, Jay-Z said, don't knock the hustle. We knock the hustler over here, though. That's for sure. The man, we could say that, well, we'll just say it. Pimping and hoeing opportunity around and having people play those roles. That's dangerous, right? Bailey and Lyra, you know, the one thing in this match is that you're looking at, this is not no ageism talk or nothing like that, but we're talking about the fact that where are the younger people featured in these? Where? Lyra's the only one. The other four women are all part of they're the veterans, family. They're the older women now. Where are the younger? Yo, why is it just Stand and Deliver as NXT, man? Can we put these girls on the main roster? Are we waiting until tonight to do it? Are they gonna wait till this upcoming Friday to do it? This is why these wrestlers get frustrated and leave. Anyway, it's why people get frustrated and leave off the jobs that we work too. I'll leave it alone. Again, the Bellas win the championship, so on and so forth. Right? Or excuse me, Bree and Paige win the championship and then they win the tag champs and going from there. Where's the women's tag teams? See, we seen Maya World, and I believe Kyan is her name. I could be wrong on that one. Over in AEW, like, where are the women's tag teams at? We know in the indie scene there's women's tag teams out there. Why have these major companies not signed them yet? What are we doing? What are you waiting for? Is it just men's tag wrestling? Leave it alone, KJ. You got it. So the Yes Kicks were in there. Were cool. Again, they call them Yes Kicks. Well, who's the person doing the Yes chant, family? Again, you got to be okay saying bye-bye to the man, whichever way possible, right? Whatever small steps. It ain't doing you no good. It's bad for your health. That's the way George Carlin said it in a skit that he did, right? It's bad for your health. It's bad for you. So the Yes Kicks were cool, but we know that the one who made Occupy Raw, right? Yeah. Shout out to Brian Danielson, aka Daniel Bryant, one time. Let's see what else we got here in these notes. We talked about Charlotte Flair. We talked about the outfits. We talked about why Paige just couldn't interrupt the match. She had to be brought in this way. It is what it is. We talked about this. Again, Lyra's the only one. We feel bad for Lyra Valkyria, family, right? This sister's putting on. She's the first women's intercontinental champion, the youth. And here you are. You took that thing off the youth. I guess this is supposed to be her way of training her. You took it off the youth. Maybe the youth are just ready to shine, family, and older people can't let it go. I got enough boldness to say it as a person that they would consider, quote unquote, a young elder. I guess by the time you're at your mid 40s, 50s, there's this little space that you get into. Again, family, we take no ownership on a thing other than we share in the knowledge given to all of us as humans, and we are to pass it on, or we don't. That's how it works. And in every form. Entertainment, law, health, right? Labor, schmecks. We just pass on the knowledge, family. Sometimes we get into a haughty space in our mind, and it's dangerous. And you can see it in entertainment. Match 4. Becky, again, all of these matches are a little, it's like watching Raw or SmackDown. Really, WrestleMania, if I'm gonna be honest with you, as we get into night 2 the next time we talk, right? Should be here in either tomorrow or the next day. At the end of the day, when you talk about night 2 is WrestleMania. Night 1 was, they need to go back to one night and just give us a sampling, right? To get people, the new viewer to come on in and the old viewer to stay, and just go from there. This kind of like 50,000 people showed up, family. 50,000. Maybe you need to lower more of them ticket prices. You had more. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, I don't know. See, sometimes people want you to fantasize. We're not fantasizing this mess Mass has made anymore. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't profit you doing that. We understand some people profit. Again, we're talking about bought folks, but at the end of the day, we understand people profit off some stuff. Family, what are we doing? Fourth match, Becky, AJ Lee. Again, it's predictable. We all know Becky. Listen. She cut in on Lyra's action. That was some mess. At some point, Lyra should have kept that belt. They didn't want to go that route. We got to give it back to the main star, quote unquote. Again, she is not the one who was featured in the match here, where the women were on the main event between Ronda Rousey, which we ain't gonna get into her right now because we understand she's trying to get back into space here. We hope Gina Carano beat her. Honestly, if I'm on the books talking, it's just me thinking about this, just free balling, as they say, right? Just thinking about this. We're pretty sure Ronda Rousey's winning that match, but I digress. We hope Gina Carano wins it. Again, this is we understand. We understand how people. We understand about Gina Carano. We're just saying, just from how Ronda Rousey is. This okay. Again, other people think the other way. That's what it is. But Ronda Rousey trying to make a comeback into some stuff. It's clear. That press conference she had on that Netflix press conference or whatever that's going around on video. She trying. She's talking some trash about I believe Kayla Harrison is her name, and just getting in it. We can see what this is. We can see her polish on her promos has gotten better from her time in WWE, but I digress. Becky and AJ Lee, we already knew was going to happen. AJ Lee's entrance was very vital. That was a cool image to see. With other girls, I think they said maybe her nieces or her niece or whatever was involved in that thing. It was good to see the little girl that was at the end of the stage and then ran back and she's like, whoa, this is too much for me. We get it. Little sis, we get it, right? But that was a cool image to see, only for Becky to win. So it is one. Match number 5, right? Seth Rollins and Gunther. All you got to know is the headline for this thing is Gunther gets his lick back. The man took the L to Jey Uso, a Samoan. Family, you got to look at the thing behind the scenes. This is this Austrian brother, hands behind the back. He duck walking everywhere. Family. We talking third right kind of stuff, okay? And at the end of the day, right, this is where this is where you got the Yeaton brother come in, you know what I'm saying? Like, day one, it's on me. That was another thing. It was cool to see them remix Jey Uso's theme to include them, like it's you and me, Us. That was kind of cool to see, right? But again, Gunther's reward for these losses, the one the year before that with Sami Zayn winning the title, which again, they playing in space with Sami. Anyway, again, so this is another one of these predictable kind of matches. You could believe that Seth Rollins was probably going to beat Gunther, but when you really get down to the nitty gritty of it, WWE likes to play in the mid space. This was Mid-Mania, family. Again, it got a little less midnight too, but this is Mid-Mania. All right. Shout out to MJF for making that popular, right? Again, the youth have, but he's just playing off of that. But in the wrestling space, MJF on the books talking about what's mid. Yeah, this is mid. Okay. Braun Breaker coming back. Congratulations to Braun Breaker coming back. From there, right, you get the Seth stomp on the table, right? So that was cool to see the Seth stomp given to Gunther on the table, and some other things in the space. But family, this is just, you know what I mean? It's another 2-on-1 scenario. Speaking of the 2-on-1, we're not even gonna get into the Hall of Fame. I'm gonna do a separate video, maybe days after, on the Hall of Fame, right? Because there's going to be a lot to unbook there. We got to get into Stephanie McMahon, and again, there's a lot of things on the books, allegedly, with Steph. So, match 6, talking about people ganging up on folks. Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Baker. It's unfortunate how people just don't pronounce. It's not even just from the physical ability. We're talking about in the mind. People just don't give a damn enough to pronounce correctly our Latin brothers and sisters' names. But Stephanie Baker is doing her thing, right? Cuban born, doing her thing in the space where not only just for the dark brown and tan skin tone folks to not exist, but for women to not exist. Notice I did not put a distinct, there is because of this system that has been made on the top of the one that is the dark brown and tan skin tone ones, whichever way you want to look at it, they're either at the bottom or the top of this class where you will stay regulated. A couple of you will come up and we will make a whole thing about, hey, you should be more happy because a couple of you came up, but that's only a couple who have come up in the system allowing them to. Listen, you live in a system that is on the books regulating how many black folks come together. You're on a system on the books allowing black folks to drink. There was a point where alcohol was not allowed, which way we want to look at that, including the weapon of defense. It was not allowed. You have to ask yourself a question now, why is it okay now? Anyway, back to the match. Liv Morgan and Stephanie Baker. How did Liv win that match, family? We'll give time for folks to drop it in the comments. How did she win that match? If you say the finisher, no, that wasn't how. I don't know if y'all can hear Snoopy's clock. I tried to mute it a little bit, so hopefully you don't hear too much of it. Again, how did she win that match? I tried to cut the Snoopy thing out of it just to talk through, but maybe every once in a while when it hits certain time, I'll bring it back. How did she win it? She needed 2 other Hispanic sisters to provide enough distraction for another Hispanic sister to lose her championship. Anyway, again, we already talked about Bianca Belair, right? So again, when the sisters on the post show, I was trying to find the post show of her talking a lot of this stuff about Stephanie Baker, and she's getting what came back to and stuff. Again, the way they played off of that, family, if you wanted to do right by it, Stephanie needs to win that match. Liv has won enough. She's just holding the crown jewel title with the world heavyweight title. And again, we understand that she was the outcast in the Riot Squad, family. We already know. We already know. We know that the Sarah, I forgot her name, the Sarah chick, the big one that was wearing all like the furs and all that kind of stuff. I think she was like the valet for the War Raiders, and she got kicked out. I could be wrong. Somebody, fact check your boy in the comments if I'm right. We understand she was fully at the bottom, but Liv Morgan was right there. And Ruby Riott, of course, nobody, you know what I'm saying? She don't fit the bill. The dumb blonde is what fits the bill, which is why Liv Morgan is on point right now. When you're talking in Master System, the rest of the groups, the sisters stand up and testify for a minute. The brunette is Now, some men love, and some women, right, love themselves a good brunette. But the brunette is never on top of the blonde one. No. In the Master System, that has to make distinctions where there are none. At the end of the day, the blonde one is the one that's the one you want now. You want the one, not too much knowledge. You won't know too much because you want to be outshining that man. Although y'all are on the equal playing field, so there would be times where a man outshines and a woman would outshine. But. You can't have that. You got to have that blonde-haired, hi, how are you? With the air in the void, it's a whole thing. Again, it's like some Bridgerton mess. Why? Because that's what's been passed down, family. So again, it's unfortunate. Right, I guess Booker T won't be able to be doing no booty calls, right? No devil's kiss booty calls, right? With Stephanie as champ because it is Liv. Oh yeah, we. We know, right? And then we get into another segment here. Again, we're seeing this talking. Bianca Belair comes out, says she's pregnant, as we've already mentioned, and then we get into match 7, which again is just more of the same. Cody's supposed to lose to Randy, family. Do you want to know why AEW fans booed Cody? Yeah, this is a shout out to AEW one time. And I'll make it a little louder. The reason AEW fans booed this man every time he was winning that TNT championship is because you're winning too much, bro. We talking about this thing was made because we tired of seeing Cena constantly keep winning. We're tired of seeing Triple H constantly keep winning. Yeah. We're tired of seeing the same old family. See, WWE did AEW was solid with this. With night 1, 100%. Night 2, maybe a little bit different. Night 2 got a little bit back to WWE foundation. But night 1, yeah, they left meat on the bones for AEW to pick off if they're doing the right thing here. Cody should have lost that thing. We hope Cody is healthy. We understand the orbital injury that he suffered as what looks like to be as a result of the mishap with Rand. It looks like either from the punt, which thank God they brought that punt back, man. We get so, again, you out in the street. What do you think is happening when you get in a fight? You think you just throwing fists? No. You're using the 2 hands and legs and shoulders, and that's why I like MMA, and knees and whatever you can to beat your opponent. So maybe it was the punt kick, because you could see the markings there. I don't know whether it was off the title or whether it was from the punt from Randy. Maybe Cody didn't get his hands up in time, or just a miscommunication there, and hopefully he does not have a broken orbital bone. We don't wish death on nobody. That's not where we go with this, or hurt and pain, none of that. And that's just some serious swelling, and he's out for maybe a couple weeks or whatever, and then he comes back. But if not, and that title got to get dropped, bro. We understand you still gonna keep that paycheck, okay? Title aside, Brandy and everybody's still gonna be eating, because we seen you hug her at the beginning of that match and everything. While you got that mask on, you ain't the indie Cody no more. This is main stakes. Bought Cody Rhodes. This is nothing to the Rhodes family. We're just saying every time they get around the McMahons like this is what it looks like. This is why it's cool with Dustin Rhodes, bro. Listen. I'm sorry, man. Like, if you want originality, you ain't gonna get it around Massa. That's how it works. That's how this works. The originality and yours look different. This is why we don't understand why you didn't stay with the company. But again, if you ain't got it, bro, you can go. Same thing with CM Punk. Same thing with Paige. This is what it is, right? The funny parts of this match was jelly roll with a jelly splash. So I like playing around in the space, like with commentary and all that kind of thing, right? It was a jelly splash. It was a jelly splash through the table, right? When Jelly Roll splashes Pat McAfee, man. So that part was cool. That part was cool. Yeah, family, just more of the same. Cody winning that match should not have happened, man. We should be talking about the 15-time World Heavyweight Champion, which is Randy Orton. That's it. But they ain't gonna do that. They're gonna take that spin story. They're gonna do what they gotta do. Family, again, when we talk about AEW, listen, pick up the pace. Don't stop what you're doing, pick up the pace. It was good for Darby Allin to win, because clearly what you're seeing on the other side, man, they're okay giving you the same thing. Build a storyline around Darby Allin that at least let him have a good run with that first championship. The same thing with Jey Uso. Could he have at least lost at WrestleMania 42? Y'all could have kept that belt on him. You did 1,300-day run with Roman Reigns. You could have at least kept the belt on Jey Uso a whole ass year. Seriously? Anyway. It was good to see the punt kick come back. Like we just mentioned. The whole thing with the Jelly Roll thing, Pat McAfee trying to pull some pseudo Mick Foley or whatever that was, right? Come on, man. Again, that's night 1, ladies and gentlemen. We will look into night 2 from what we saw so far. A little bit different. We can say this about the stage. I don't understand the light show with the stage. That should have been something different, man. You could have had that thing, just a basic stage. We don't need no light shows, and just have the people come out to pyro. Again, another one of those things that the fans had an issue with all the way back when AEW was made in 2019. Where'd the pyro go? Oh, we're trying to watch out for safety and blah, blah, blah. You had no problem with safety in the 90s, man. None. What, now? So yeah, a lot of this we can see is for money. And again, when your board of directors and stuff is calling the shots, okay, and it's not the fans anymore, or kinda, this is what it looks like. R-Truth, a shell of himself, family, a shell of himself. They're trying to keep him in the space with Damian Priest and all that, which again is cool to see him around his Puerto Rican brother. Again, family, when you no different than with Jimmy with Jay, man, you got to get back to the people help you get up. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you down, man, you got to get around people that help you get up. You can't be around people gonna keep you down. That don't work. That won't work. Okay. So that's night 1 on the books, family. We will see about night 2, right? Thank y'all for walking this road with your brother. Again, we understand some of the topics that we get into are tough. They're tough in the mind. But family, this is just what you're dealing in. Okay. We don't take away from the accomplishment of people. We just know that the thing is manipulated to put across a different type of narrative, which in all reality is just unnecessary. These men and women are putting their bodies on the line. Just have them tell the stories. We don't need all of this other mess that we're looking at. Right? Everything you've seen in night 1 was everybody got their lick back. Liv was the star before Stephanie Vaquer got there. Again, it's what we're saying. I don't know if AEW played around in space when she was there, because she was there for a bunch. Man, keep Stephanie over there, man. We talking CMLL, the oldest Mexican, I think the oldest promotion, if I'm not mistaken, but of course the oldest Mexican promotion over in Mexico. It's on the books, family. Listen, these things are important. These things have meaning. These in certain promotions, man, they don't give a damn. Like, I mean, a hot diggity damn. They don't care. That you got a smile in the face, all the while wanting to take your place. The OJs called that a backstab. So we're good, right? We're good. And we'll just see what we'll give y'all the reaction on night 2 here, and in about a day or so, right? So, family, thank you very much for walking this road with your boy one time. We love y'all. God bless y'all. Right? Again, hashtag I'm a wrestling fan too. Right? And until next time, and as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.